let's talk about the big picture. So employers are actually having a problem across the board, right? They're essentially running out of skilled trade workers. That's the core of the problem. It's a really big problem across the board. It doesn't matter where you look. So 70% of construction companies are actually having difficulty finding jobs. And this was actually a study put out by the Associated General Contractors of America. And they're figuring out that, like, of all the companies that are starting, 70% are having this problem across the board. It doesn't matter where they are. And what's more striking is that 68% of those job openings are in the infrastructure-related space. So the problem is that of those 68% of companies, but there are more companies that are outside in the infrastructure space with job openings than actual training. In other words, we just can't find people to train them fast enough to fill these job openings that exist. Huge problem, huge thing altogether. And this is another study again by the Association of America. So you're saying, you know what, this problem is far, but this problem is actually right in our backyard as well too. So I was having a conversation earlier in this year with the Toronto Board of Trade, and I was talking to the director, and they actually put out a recent study. This is a study that was done this year, and they figured that in Toronto, they're going to need an extra 150,000 workers just to keep up with existing demands of Toronto. How big is Barrie? You guys are like, what, 150,000 or so, right? So essentially all of Barrie, you're going to need just to keep up with Toronto's demand. So the biggest question that I have for you, and think about it, is like, how are you going to compete with Toronto? That's the real question, right? Like, because they're sucking the workers, like they're paying the dollars and whatever it is. The real question is, how can you compete with it? So this is sort of a breakdown of where the problem is happening altogether. And this is part of that Toronto trade study, by the way. What they're saying is that over the course of the next 10 years, you're going to need that 150,000 workers, but this red, this orange bar that you're seeing here is essentially retired people, people that are coming out of the industry. Okay? So what's happening is they're predicting that they're going to need an extra 30,000 people just to replace the retired people that are coming out to retire, like going into retirement altogether. Huge problem, huge fundamental problem altogether. So this slide actually kind of sums it up, and I'm preaching to the choir here, but I'm trying to make you understand sort of the breadth of the problem. So you have essentially this perfect storm. You have the skilled trade workers shortage, and you have a construction industry that since 2008 has just been an increase with an annual growth rate of roughly 4% annually. 68% of those jobs are going to new constructions, and then there's sort of 30% for maintenance. So you see where the problem is. Right? It's a massive shortage of workers altogether, and this is where we're trying to figure out how can we be helping with this. Any questions on this? Okay. So people are essentially trying to, obviously, they recognize that there's a problem. Governments are recognizing that this is an issue. Institutions are recognizing that this is a problem, and so they're trying to figure out what can we do to solve it all together, right? And so one thing is people are essentially trying to figure out, well, how bad is the problem? Like, is it, a fact that we don't have workers? Can we just, try to patch this up? Can we ignore it, right? Some people are trying to push it under the rug. What can we do to solve this problem altogether? So we're essentially leaning on the side that this is actually a really, really bad problem, and if we don't try to figure out what to do with it, it's going to get even worse. So it has to be some sort of approach to it altogether. I think we could all agree that the lack of workers is a problem. I think based on those slides, it's very clear that it is sort of a fundamental problem in terms of how we actually deal with this and what are we going to do to deal with it altogether, right? So the first thing that I'd like you to think about is the fact that people are really concerned about the fact that there's a shortage of skilled trade workers, but from our perspective, we actually think that there's huge operational efficiency that can be gained from what you already have. In other words, you already have an operation, you already have a functioning why not try to optimize that, right? Why not try to get those 3 papers that I talked about earlier down to 1, right? Make it more efficient so you can save that money. Ask yourself, what can I do if I were able to save my company, say, $100,000 in a year? What would I be able to do with that? So, from our perspective as software developers, we actually feel that people are overlooking this problem or overlooking this solution altogether. It's sort of like going under the radar. People are not focused on improving their personal efficiency in their current environment. They're not focused on scheduling efficiencies, like trying to figure out how we can make scheduling a lot more efficient. And those are real time savers that you could save to actually shave off, not just time in the day, but actually costs, all right? Like being more efficient altogether.